Hey guys, welcome back. We're working on our 57 Insane Rat Rod. We had a little bit of a problem, but we were able to work around it. That is the firewall. You see, if I put a good profile of this car on here for you. Alright, I chopped here because, well, I thought it looked cool. Problem is, I jumped the gun and I didn't check things out. First, what I didn't check out was the firewall of the car. If I had put the firewall in, the natural course of the firewall would be, say, from here, and it would come, if I could do this, it would come straight down, so it'd be out kind of like the pencil point is, out this way, and then it hooks and comes down to about this point here, okay, so there's this big honking gap that was in here that wasn't working because the firewall started at almost a straight right angle from the level of the car here, and then down and then in. So it was a problem. Excuse me. So that was a problem, and what I did is I fiddled with it, couldn't get it to work. I tried just tilting it inwards and everything, and it didn't work. So finally what I did is I cut it in half, and actually before I cut it all the way through, I cut it enough that I could lay it flat and try putting it in place, but it wouldn't because the car body is actually wider than the firewall here. So then what I did is I took some plastic card, I got some really thin plastic card, and I put a big piece down on the ground like so. I took the body, laid it on top so it was nice and flat. I traced it out with my little pink pencil here. Hey, cancer awareness, right? So traced it out, cut it out, and then I glued that on the front of the car. Very flimsy stuff. I used a very, very flimsy material. Probably a little too flimsy, but that's what I had, that's what I used. Then to brace it, if you look underneath here, these are H-beams, evergreen styrene H-beam pieces. So I did a crisscross pattern. It really boosted made it stable on the inside. Then I took my firewall, the existing kit part, completely cut it through, and glued it to the face of that styrene. A little notch for the tunnel ram here, you can see. There's a big notch in the plastic in there. Okay, that's for the transmission. And now I got this at a really kind of a cool angle, and it looks pretty good. Now I've got this cut here. I'm not sure if I'm going to fill it. I wouldn't be able to fill it and make it completely smooth, but I could try to make it a little bit more busy and kind of camouflage it. So we'll have to see how that plays out, but it really doesn't look bad. It's a lot better than it was, that's for sure. So now we are back on track, and let me tell you, when I put this on, because now I've got the body secured, secured back here, and it's secured here. It's really tight when it goes on the body, on the chassis. Very, very tight. So that's where we are right now. So hang on, we'll be right back. Okay, we're back again with our 57 rat rod, and you can see just dry fitting. We got the body in place. We've got the engine looking in with the firewall. Now I had a conversation with Nick Ambergy, who's doing the same kit in a different configuration, and ran into a problem where the engine, as you can see here, sits very low in the chassis. It's not that there's anything wrong, it's just the way the car sits. Now for me it's a problem because I've got this scoop that I'm trying to put on here that will kind of sit, supposed to sit up against the windshield as such. As you can see, it's very, very low. Or the engine's a lot lower than the scoop would be, and it looks silly. Now before I started, looking straight on, I had built this motor with the stock intake manifold, and it's just a regular low rise manifold. So when this piece went on, it was like, you can see here now, it's a little, I can't, basically when this engine had the right manifold on, or the stock manifold on it, do it with this scoop was down here, okay, way below the firewall, which didn't work. So I was going through my parts and I found this high-rise manifold, and as you saw when it was just in there a moment ago, it brought it up a little bit. So now, get the right angle for you. So now it kind of sits about there, so half of the scoop is below the firewall, the other half is above it, almost at this molding line here. Okay, I think I might be able to work with that. It's not going to be perfect. I don't want to add some sort of like tall velocity stacks on top of this to reach up and meet it. I think it looks silly. So with the engine in this configuration, the scoop will sit on top of it. And like I said, I'm thinking maybe notching out to this chrome line here. And it's still too long. I haven't got it to the right shape yet, but I'm thinking it'll kind of notch out so it'll climb and step over the firewall a little bit, and then it'll have that feel that I want up against the windshield. This will be cut to match the angle of the windshield, so that should look pretty cool. And then we'll be moving on. This kit's been a lot of fun, but it has been a lot of challenges. It's really fighting me. I'm not sure I'll get done by the end of the month, but we're trying. We really are. I'm happy with the results, so it's coming out pretty cool. So hang on, we'll be right back.